The Good Buddies Anime Podcast is hosted by two rowdy, foul-mouthed American cowboys. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, Good Buddies, what's up, and welcome into the Good Buddies Anime Show. I am your good buddy, Roger.
And I'm your good buddy, Brandon.
I am your goo buddy, Roger.
Your goo buddy?
Yeah, I ain't got no goo.
Don't be gooing.
Shoot your goo, my
Don't
dude.
do that. Don't do that. Roger. Don't do that.
We're off to a cracking start as my
It's going
friends
to be a
across
good
the
time.
pond
We're trying to get some laughs in because you know what? This one might get heavy.
Yeah. There might be some laughs in there, too, though. Actually, there was one thing that made me laugh really hard.
Yeah, no, I'll
For sure, one character.
But listen, so we're going to be talking about it.
And he makes $1 million a month.
Jesus Christ. It is maybe the biggest premiere of the season. Certainly the longest premiere episode of the season.
I believe it is the most watched show, like premiere on High Dive ever.
That makes a lot of sense.
And the month that it was released had the most subscriptions to High Dive ever.
And it's
so High Dive fucking working on it out there.
Listen, y'all, and if you watch the tier list, you know I said it was my favorite thing this season, so I'm not surprised. It's Oshi no Ko, y'all. We're talking about it.
Yep, I finally got around to watching it. It was kind of funny because I was getting around to watching it, and our good buddy Josh posted it. He watched it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't watch that shit, too.
Hell yeah. So here's the thing. It's going to get spoilery. We really don't...
Yep.
This show is worth watching. You just heard all those facts and statistics. It's worth checking out. Please go watch it because we're about to discuss episode 1 probably all the way through.
Yeah.
And episode 1 is a movie. It's like 90 minutes long.
Yep.
Check it out.
So at the very least, watch episode 1 before you listen to this part if you want to. If not, or you've already watched it, then we're about to talk about it because I'm excited to talk about that. But then we'll do a break and we'll go into the other series proper. And we might not get as spoilery there, but we will give you the break point of when we're switching over to the series proper.
But yes, it is going to get spoilery. This is your last spoiler warning. We are spoiling it. We're going to talk about it. This is not a full-on review. Just talking about it, what we like about it, what we're doing. But we're going to get into it. Oshi no Ko. Roger, where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with that big-ass, long-ass first episode.
Okay, it's huge.
Yeah.
So the first episode, as I said before in our tier list and otherwise, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It is a straight-up movie.
It's all about Hoshino.
Hoshino. Well, so we start with the doc.
Yep, the doctor.
Yes. So first of all...
Is it Kuragawa? Oh, I think that's...
he's pulling up the notes.
I got the names.
You got the names.
Yep.
So first and foremost, this is a show about...
Goro Amamiya.
Yeah. Dr. Guru. So there's a guy, he's a doctor. He works in a small, he works at a hospital in a small town outside of the city. And he has become a big fan of a certain idol who's part of a group called, is it Kamachi B? Something like that?
Yeah, Kamachi.
B Kamachi.
B Kamachi, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And he did that after he formed a bond with one of his patients, a young lady who has unfortunately passed away at this point in the story. And then he gets a big old surprise when that idol that he is a big fan of just shows up. Not only does she show up at his small town hospital, she's also very pregnant. And from there, this is where, first major spoiler.
Yeah.
You have been warned several times. The show then, he is dealing with that. She's about to give birth. He is confronted by a stalker of hers.
Well, hold on. Before we get to the stalker, rewind just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. One of the nurses is kind of like, he is a big fan of idols.
Yes.
Because he had a patient in a prior life, and one of his nurses is giving him a kind of a catches the flag, like, hey.
She's like, you're one of those guys.
You're one of those perverts, huh?
He's like, no.
No, there's a reason to it.
Yeah.
And maybe he's slightly a little bit perverted, but
there is definitely a moment. So here's maybe
he is restrained. He is a restrained pervert.
Certainly, here's the thing. The show's not about this guy, and we will get to that.
Yeah.
But certainly the most. Here's the one giant red flag in this thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. We will get to it, but the first big red flag for me was there's a bit where they show a flashback of him talking with this patient, this younger girl,
Yep.
Who at the time was like, I think 12, 13, 14,
Yeah,
somewhere
she's
in
like
there.
12. Yep.
Somewhere in there.
She
And
has
he's an
no
adult
hair.
doctor.
It's very obvious that she's a cancer patient.
Something like that.
Yep.
He's the doctor. He's an adult man. And she, after she shows him this idol that he ends up developing a liking to, they kind of make a bond, and she's like, basically she says she wants to be with him, like she's romantically interested.
Yeah, she said, "Will you marry me?"
As kids are wont to do sometimes, they develop feelings for adults, and like any good adult, he says, "No, that's silly. You're a child." But then, like a bad adult, he says, maybe when you turn 16, which I believe is the age of consent in Japan.
Yeah, which actually is, has her turn around and talk about him being mean because she quite obviously is not going to make it to 16.
Yeah.
And it appears that she already knows that.
Yeah, but it's like, obviously, like, hey man, literal grooming, but also, I mean, you could definitely write it off as he was making a joke.
Yeah,
she's not going to make it. But also,
it might be one of those things in anime that you just kind of have to give a slight pass to.
Listen, everything after that is not about this guy, and that's what matters. In fact, I would dare say that the rest of the show. Okay, here we go. Big spoiler. He is confronted by a stalker of eyes, and he gets pushed off a cliff and fucking dies.
Yeah, on the night that she's giving birth.
Yes, Doctor dead. Doctor's dead. He is not there to deliver baby. And Doctor dead. We then see the children. They are born. There's a boy and a girl. They are twins, and the boy blinks his eyes open, and he has been reincarnated as her child. Okay, great.
Yep.
There he is.
That's the doctor.
This character, who is named, I believe his full name is Aquamarine. Everyone calls him Aqua.
Yeah.
He's got big blue eyes. While you do get some like blinks of his past life, like he talks about like how he's, later on in the series, this character will mention how they like, they can do this now that they're in a younger body or whatever, is a very different character from the doctor. So like, if you're concerned about any like, oh, this guy's a weirdo and a pervert, that kind of just goes to being a regular kid.
Yeah.
It's just a plot device.
Well, and he does talk a few times, about, like, well, I'm older in mine or whatever. So there are certain things he doesn't do.
Right. He is more tactful, certainly.
Yeah. And he does mention that, like he excels very well in academics because he has his already, doctor level brain.
Absolutely. So that's Aqua.
Yeah. They come out of the womb being able to talk.
Yeah, not that they let everybody know about that.
Yeah.
We can't have some baby geniuses shit in here.
Yeah.
There's one scene that's pretty great. But then there is also the twin girl who is also reincarnated. Now, second big spoiler, we know pretty much instantly and find out it is confirmed shortly thereafter that girl is in fact his patient who died.
Yep.
Who somehow,
Serena.
I guess she was just in the karmic, wheel of life, just hanging out until this exact moment.
Well, she had the dream, too, of being reborn as an idol's daughter.
Yeah, and as it happens, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yep.
I guess minor spoiler to tag on to the end of that, they don't know each other is them yet.
Yeah. Yeah, they at the very least know that they were somebody else in a former life.
Yes, but they don't seem to have any interest in sharing who they were with each other. They're just, we're here now. Which is interesting, and maybe that'll come into play later. So now the rest of this movie, this first episode, which again is a movie.
Yeah, the convoluted stuff is kind of out of the way here.
Yes, now we're into the actual story, so we can talk about the actual characters. Mostly, you got Aqua, you got Ruby, that's the girl's name. She's got big pink eyes. Haha, get it? Aquamarine, Ruby, adorable.
Yep.
And they spend a lot of time just being like, wow, our mom sure is great. They do a little like idol stick, what is it? The glow stick wavy dance at one of her concerts.
Yeah, they go viral or whatever.
Yes, it's a lot. And then mostly though, this first episode is about the actual idol, and her character development, finding out where she came from, how she lives like this, her feelings and seeing her slowly develop through the industry. She's not like, she's part of an idol group. She's not, you know, a
she's
huge
making
star.
she's not making tons of money or anything
No,
like that.
in fact, most of them don't. This show has no problem with telling you, like, yes, this glamorous lifestyle, like other idol shows we've seen before in movies and whatnot. Was it Perfect Blue? Is a great example. Yeah, this shows you, like, you know, some of the dark
it shows
side.
you a lot of the seedy nature of the idol industry,
of like the constant having to, you know, maintain this lifestyle and this and that, and not being able to do this or that, and having to keep these secrets, and the horrible shit that comes along with it. The stalker guy is still around. He's out there, and whatnot. There's a lot of really great development here. Let's talk a little bit about our other characters, though. So Aqua, for example, we see him, you know, they start as babies. We also have the manager and his wife, who are, is his wife? His wife, right?
Yeah, it's his wife.
So I's manager and his wife, the wife ends up like watching the kids most of the time because she's got to keep those kids a secret. No one can know, of course. Idols aren't even supposed to have boyfriends.
That's Ichigo Saito and Miyako Saito. Now, you do get a lot more familiar with Miyako than Ichigo, at least for the time being.
Certainly.
But in the movie, you see lots of Ichigo.
You see a lot of all these characters, really. Yep. The big thing is that she ends up watching the kids most of the time. There's a great scene where, like, they basically, like, she has a moment where she's like, I could leak this story and make $1 billion, and they end up using their the fact that they are children who can talk to force her out of that by scaring the shit out of her, which is pretty great. But then later we see the kids grow. They're like toddler age now. The first big development with Aqua is that he ends up like getting a part on a movie because the director will only let I be in the movie if he's in there too.
Yeah, because Aqua is very well spoken early on because he has an adult man's brain,
which is fucking creepy. If you've ever met a kid who like talked a little too adult.
Yeah, we're talking like a 2-year-old that's talking like an adult or whatever. And to the director, that's very creepy. And they're on a set, you know, with I, you know, trying to be in like a school drama or something like that. And ultimately, she doesn't get cast for that because she's too pretty, and they don't want her.
Yeah, they end up cutting out all her stuff.
Yeah, they don't want her to
overshadow.
Yeah, they don't want her to overshadow the girl that actually can act or whatever that they want to be the lead or whatever.
The main girl who the show is for.
Yep. So Aqua does not like that very much because Aqua and Ruby, they love I.
That's all they care about.
Yeah, they love her not only, you know, as an idol and as fans, but, you know,
also,
like,
that's my mommy now.
Yeah, that's my mom now. You know, it's kind of weird, but it works.
It works really well.
Yeah, it works. Well. You know, they are there for I. They love I.
Yes.
So, you know, Aqua being creepy or whatever, essentially kind of strong arms Aqua or I getting more opportunities by offering the director's like, hey, well, I got a proposition for you. He's like, well, I got. You know, I'll accept if we can do, you know, if we can get I in there. And sure enough, he gets I into a movie, but only if he can cast him to have this part.
Yes, because this is it's like some kind of horror / thriller kind of flick.
Yeah.
And I need creepy kids. And you know who's creepy? Your little ass.
It's the two twins in the hallway in the Shining. Yeah.
Play with us, pretend.
Yeah, but it's like a country roadway.
Yeah. And like, too, is this is the other thing. This is a big theme in here is that it gets a little like borderline Death Note-y because Aqua's whole deal is he's really good at reading people. Like he understands implicitly that the reason I was cast for this is because that dude thinks I'm creepy.
Yeah,
I don't need to act. I just need to be me, and it fucking works.
Yeah. Well, and that's because he's a doctor and he's spent his, you know, entire adult life talking to people.
Yeah, exactly. Learning how to like deal with people, verbal judo, if you will.
He has to say some awful things to people, or he has to deal with some people in different mental states or whatever. So he has to learn how to interact with a wide variety of human beings,
and he uses that to his benefit throughout the show. So he ends up like kind of getting a little jump start into the entertainment business. Not that he necessarily wants that. Meanwhile, Ruby, there's a really great moment with Ruby where she is trying to learn how to do a dance for school that she doesn't want to do because she doesn't want to dance. She doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't think she can.
Yeah.
And there's an amazing moment where she is like practicing this dance, this twirl and fall in front of this mirror, and she keeps falling down. She keeps falling when she tries to do this spin. And her mom comes in to try and help her, and she immediately recognizes, well, honey, you keep falling and you keep bracing yourself before you fall. Which then we get the little flashback. Of course, she was a very sickly young woman. This is a little girl who was constantly sick, constantly falling down, didn't have the strength to even keep herself up. So she learned very quickly how to brace herself for a fall. But I basically tells her and shows her, look, if you keep expecting you're gonna fall, then you'll fall. You have to be willing to do the movement and do this stuff, trusting that you can do it. And that little bit of confidence is what lets her start to like hit the moves and everything. And then man, that's one of my favorite scenes in this freaking first episode.
It's really cute.
It's really beautiful. Like really the animation, like we're not doing a full on review, but the art and animation thing really pops, particularly doing these dance and idol numbers. There's a scene where we see doing
they don't bust any CG out or anything like that.
No, they just hit it. Yeah. I mean, there's, obviously everything's like, drawn computers and whatnot, but still it's really well done. Like,
it's not like
we've talked before
anime.
where like some other idol man, they go into like the CG. Like, look,
that you get a whole lot of those scenes in this, but
right. But like honestly, like we all love fucking Zombieland Saga. Yep. But like, when they're doing the little street performance and they go into the robotic ass CG, it kind of doesn't work.
Yeah.
This one, it just looks good the whole time.
Yep, sure does.
It really, really does. When they turn it on, they really turn it on. But we're jumping around a lot because we're eventually going to get to the end of this episode, which is very spoilery and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So, beyond those two characters, though, the main thing, it all focuses on Ai. We see when she was first approached to get into the industry. We see how she didn't want to do any of this, how she didn't feel like it was real because she, there's all these songs that you have to sing about I love you, and her parents were...
It's lying to people. It's a convincing lie.
Exactly. And she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't think she can love people because she didn't really experience love.
She was an orphan, I believe.
She was her like dad died, I think, and then her mom like left her, and like I think there was something she may or I don't remember. I want to say her mom was like got on drugs or something.
Yeah, she was from a child's home though.
Yeah, she ended up in a child's home, and it was a whole thing where like everything was fucked up, and she doesn't really feel like that. Like, yeah, she's got the look, but she doesn't have... in her mind, she doesn't have the ability to do this because she doesn't want to say those things because she doesn't feel those things. And then the manager tells her like, hey, maybe it's all lying. Like, that's part of it. That's part of the thing. People want to be lied to. They want a convincing lie. They want these moments, etc., etc. All the while, you're also like, she's lying to everybody. She lies to her manager because there's a moment where we see her, the manager's like, etc., this and that. We're doing a great job keeping the kids under wrap. Obviously, we're kind of implying every time they go out that they're the manager's wife's kids, etc. But I know you might want to, but and we never find out who the dad is.
Yep.
But he's like, you can't be talking to the dad or anything. It's too risky. And she's like,
he doesn't know. Nobody in the show knows because she says it's a secret.
Yeah, she will not tell anyone. Why would she? Because it's a huge deal, right? It's a huge deal that this very famous idol, who now at this point in the show is getting more and more famous and is actually getting roles and getting modeling gigs and getting all this stuff, is becoming a gigantic idol in the industry. It's all the more reason to keep it all under wraps. And she tells him, yeah, I'm not talking to the dad. Like, why would I? Cut to her in a phone booth talking to him. Hey, I know maybe you don't want to, but it would be, coming up on birthday, blah, blah, blah.
If you want to see the twins, they're very cute.
They're so cool. They're so cute. They're doing all this stuff. They're so smart. They say stuff that, like, doesn't even seem like it should be at their level. I mean,
if you do want to, here's my address.
Exactly. Now we get to the gigantic nuclear fire spoiler that, please, if you haven't watched this fucking show, seriously, just pause this and watch it. I will point out, legitimately, like, the best thing you can do is go into this blind. We've already ruined that for you if you listen this far and haven't seen it. But it's not too late to watch the rest of this. I did have the big spoiler spoiled for me.
I did not, so...
Lucky. I did have it spoiled for me. It's still my favorite premiere of the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, here you go. Get ready.
Yeah,
but
I had the only things I had spoiled for me were the very few things that you had mentioned, which
them being reincarnated.
Yeah. We did. We talked about in the first 5 minutes of this episode. So after that, everything else, I was kind of like what the fuck is gonna happen?
Yeah.
So
here we go. Last chance. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's rock. After talking to the dad and telling him, if you want to see the kids and whatnot, we see I and the kids at home. We see a shot of someone walking. They're holding flowers. Seems like, maybe dad's finally going to come visit. There's a knock at the door. She goes to the door. She opens the door. It's the stalker dude.
That killed Aqua in his previous life.
Yep, he's back. And he takes her too.
Yep.
Just straight up gut.
Yeah.
And we're done.
Yep, just knifes her.
Yeah.
Smears her down a wall. Aqua's in a room with her.
It is. They're in like a little foyer area.
Yeah.
Foyer area. And
this scene is fucking nuts, and it is heavy. It is
very heavy. It's very brutal, and I don't want to spoil everything there because I still feel like that. I had that much spoiled for me, and the scene still worked because it is so well done. But he has some stuff he says. She says some stuff back. He realizes some things. He runs off, freaked out. I will give you this. I will.
This is my favorite scene of the whole movie.
Yeah, the bit where. So first of all, I
just say what you need to, buddy.
I will say here. I'll give you the
anybody listening right now has probably already watched the first.
I'm just gonna go bad part, good part. The only part I didn't like about this is that she falls. She is against the doorway into the main area. Ruby's on the other side of that door. She doesn't see it, which in one hand is like, hey, that's good to like spare the kid that, but Aqua's there and he sees everything, and it's kind of like, you miss out on a little bit of character development maybe, but that can also play out. It's all fun.
Yeah. Well, Ruby still is, she came from a 12-year-old.
Right. Even then she was a younger kid, so it's like it would be much more traumatic.
Where Aqua
obviously.
was a doctor in his previous life. He actually notices right away, this has been severed.
Yeah, it's straight up like her, what is it, the arterial something or other.
Yeah. And he's like, Ruby, just stop. Don't come in. Like
he's trying to put pressure on the wound, but he knows she ain't making it. The amazing development, the culmination of Ai's development there is that she then talks to her son and talks to her daughter through the door and has the moment where she never said it. She made sure to never say it because she didn't want to risk it not being true. She didn't want to say it and not feel it. But she tells them that she loves them. And she's so happy in that last moment that it was true. And then she's gone. Yep.
Then the stars in her eyes fade to gray.
And there you go. And it's painful, it's gruesome, it's beautiful. It's obviously I have a lot of opinions about tropes and whatnot, and this lady just got straight up fridged. That'll happen. But what a fucking story she had up until then, and now
and her conversation with the stalker is really good too.
Yes, it's powerful. I'm not talking about that one just because I'll give you something to watch if you haven't. The show's great. So now we get to the actual all that I said last 2 weeks ago. If you Google Oshi no Ko and look at the first 5-10 image results, you don't know what this show is about. Now you're gonna find out what it's actually about.
Yeah.
Because now we have the moment where it's after the funeral and everything.
Yep.
Aqua, his wheels finally start turning, and he says, "Now wait a fucking minute."
Yep. And it is, Miyako has been raising them this whole time, so she asks, like, "Can
manager's wife?"
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. The manager's like, "Can we all stay with me? Can I be your mother?"
She's like offers to adopt them, and Ruby runs up and hugs her, crying, and Aqua still is a little standoffish. She's not sure.
And Aqua wants to have a relationship with the director.
And the reason he does that, the reason he wants that is because he realizes that dude who did it was just a shitty high school kid. How everything was kept so secret.
Yep.
How could he know?
How did he know where to find the hospital? How did he know to find that I might be the doctor?
How did he know where she lived there at
Yep.
the end? How did he know any of this stuff? It doesn't make sense. He's not like fucking Jason Bourne. He doesn't have a fucking Rolodex.
The only two that know are the manager's wife, and them.
Yeah, those are the only people that would know. So manager wouldn't do it. That's his bread and butter. That's his star.
Yep.
Like she's finally going up in the industry. Why would she ever? Manager's wife, she had a little stake at the beginning, but she loves these kids. She wouldn't risk these kids. Like, that doesn't really make sense. But then there's one other person who would know. The person who she called. Their dad.
Yep.
So, it is now this kid's mission. He says, I know I got to figure out who it is. I know he's someone in the entertainment industry. That's the most I could possibly know because it's the only thing that makes it, they met each other and everything and blah, blah, blah. That's why he says, hey, manager, will you raise me? Can I go with you? Because he wants to get into the industry, not to be famous, not to be an actor, which he'd be fucking good at, we found out, not to be a director, not to do anything, but because if he can get his foot in the door, he can get around all these other people, and if he can get a piece of hair, a saliva sample, something to run a DNA test, I got to find out who my dad is so I can murder his ass.
Yeah.
And this is the show. It is a revenge fucking thriller game. And it is a little bit Death Note. It's a little bit this and that.
It's a little bit talentless, Nana. Think of that,
It's a little bit of all these things.
But it's also a little bit of a slice of life. Actually, it's a lot of it a slice of life.
Yeah. So there you go.
Where,
we did it. We spoiled the first episode.
To the point, it's so slice of life to the point sometimes I'll question, like, is the show going in another direction? We just dropping that? Or
I mean, maybe. There is a lot going on in this show.
It's a slice of life with this gigantic fucking
mystery.
Dark cloud hanging over it.
Yes. This is what I said, like, during the thing, is like, it is not... It is the episodes after that first one. It is different. It's not bad. It's just a different show from what we experienced because everything that's happening with this industry, there is this horrible darkness surrounding it that eventually they're going to have to figure out what's up. And so far, I do still love this show.
Oh, yeah.
We said we won't spoil a ton from the following episodes.
Yeah, but if you want to have nothing blind or whatever, because we'll probably drop some things here and there, you can watch the rest of the series. If not, keep listening. There's no way we can spoil everything in this podcast
certainly
anyway.
But I will tell you this, the show continues to, so it gets funny. There are other characters that show up who were in that first episode. Kana. Yeah. So that character kicks ass, and I love her. She's in that first episode, and she shows up later. The first episode does end with them leaving for like their first day of high school, I believe. So they're full on like young adults now. And it goes from there, man. And it gets a lot more in the industry. I will say episode 2, Aqua's a bit of a giant dick because he's just kind of shitting on his sister's dreams for most of the episode.
Yeah, he's trying to keep her out. She wants to be an idol.
Yes, but also
he's trying to keep her out of it.
Which makes a lot of sense, and I get it. But also, come on, man. Like, let a motherfucker make her decisions. Let a motherfucker live. I get it, like, everything you've seen and everything, but also it's so the way he goes about it is very underhanded.
Yeah.
But also, it ends up working out mostly. He ends up in the industry, much to his own chagrin, even though he doesn't want to. He ends up taking a few roles and whatnot. Kana's there, and she's fucking great, and she licks baking soda, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, she's actually, there's actually a young flashback of her in the movie.
Yeah.
Because she's the second child in the scene with the creepy children.
Yes.
And she has a gigantic fit because she's not as creepy.
Yeah, she's trying to be creepy, which doesn't work. Dude is just being himself, and he's incredibly terrifying. So, she has a bit of a fit. She's like, reshoot it. No, motherfucker, nah, he did better than me. Nah. It's a whole thing. Show's great. Everything after that, it does continue to get dark. There is, without any giant spoilers, there is a lot of bullying that happens in some of these episodes. There is self-harm. There is attempted suicide.
Yep.
I want to just shout out, thank you, show, for at the end of those episodes actually showing hey, if you know anybody who's having problems or suicidal thoughts, here's the number.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Hey, that's really nice. Thank you. And if you ever are having thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else, hey, talk to someone.
And they actually, there's like actually controversy behind that too, because people think it's very close to the Hana Kimura incident.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Now, from what I understand is a lot of people, dispute the timeline. Are like, oh, the manga and stuff was planned and being written before that happened or whatever. But the company never, they haven't outright came out and said, oh, we use this as inspiration, or oh, we did not use it. They haven't denied anything, but they haven't affirmed anything either.
Yeah.
And maybe it's much like they teach you in the show. It's best sometimes just not to say anything.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah. Maybe they truly do believe, that.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some of the stuff about Hana Kimura and whatnot. I was actually just apropos because we actually just crossed the I think it was the birthday of I forget her name now, but the wrestler from WWE who apparently committed suicide like in 2019, I believe. And then there was Hana, and then there was Daphne. Like, look, the stuff happens. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not jumping on a soapbox or anything.
It happens.
Suffice to say, if you are someone else is having these thoughts, please talk to someone.
Yeah.
Please, maybe you don't want to talk to anybody on the phone or whatever because you don't want to have to think about that, but please try something.
The way that
this stuff does happen.
Yeah,
So
the way that I look at it,
weird.
as a person that has dealt with depression for a lot of their life, and as a person who's dealt with attempted suicides, and not myself, but I know people.
Yeah.
I know people that I'm very close to.
Yeah.
That have attempted things, and the easy thing as a loved one being in that position is to well, hey, this was an awful moment. I don't want to address it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to forget that it ever happened or whatever. Right. But the real honest thing is that we should never forget that this stuff happens. Yeah. It should never not be addressed. And yeah, sometimes, like the Hana Kimura thing, like the similarities are stark, and or the similarities are there. They're very similar. It is close. Mm-hmm. But a lot of situations like that are kind of close, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah. Anything
you're gonna relate it to your experience,
right?
It's hard not to, and that's not on somebody that is. It's not on the victim or the victim's family or whatever. It is very hard to mentally parse and accept and know that these are your own collection of events, and it's hard not to always pull yourself back to it.
Right.
You can't get past it. It's hard.
It's definitely very fraught and very dark, but it's also incredibly real. So it's one of those things that, if they had just straight up based this on that, is that scummy? Maybe. Yeah. Is it still something that needs to be talked about? For fucking sure. Yeah. So I don't really have an opinion there. R.I.P. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the show itself,
and really ultimately the similarities, are the cyberbullying. Yeah. Because Hana Kimura was cyberbullied. Yeah. Because she was a heel. So. Yep. And people were fucking awful to her. Now, however, we get a little bit in the show where the character that attempts to commit suicide does not. She doesn't make it. So
there you go. But yeah, there's a lot going on in this show. There's a lot of different storylines going on in this show, and I mean, we got how many episodes left? Holy moly, are they gonna make it? 4
left or so, maybe 5. I think it's 4. But yeah, we have Ruby trying to become an idol. Mm-hmm. We have Aqua, his revenge plot. And on top of that, his acting career that he has, gotten into one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Because it's, again, whether he likes it or not, it's the quickest way to get into the industry and get close to these people who could potentially be your daddy.
As of the filming of this, I think we're on episode 7 or so.
Something like that.
Which at the very end of that introduces another character. Well, it's not another character. It's a character. An actor or actress that's playing a part.
Yes.
Which, that is definitely going to create another plot line going through.
Yeah, when that shit happened, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
That's wild. Homie's method. Damn. Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about some of the other stuff around this show. How about that music?
It's fucking good, dude. It's good. The sound design in this show is good, but the opening and closing songs, are fucking amazing.
Yes, the opening is by Yoasobi, who you may remember as having done, I think, all the theme songs for Beastars, which is pretty sweet. They've done a lot of other stuff. They did at least one for Witch from Mercury, which I'm into. They've done a lot of work. That's a little super group. It's like, let's see, music duo comprised of vocal and producer Ayase and singer-songwriter Ikura. So they're like a tiny little super duo that kind of whips ass. And of course, the outro.
It's Queen Bee.
Queen Bee, who you may remember from, it was Dororo, right?
Dororo, they did do, I believe, Tokyo. They did a Tokyo Ghoul one. They did a Chainsaw Man ending. One of the Chainsaw Man endings.
One of the many Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, but the big song was the one from Dororo, Fire or whatever.
For us, anyway. Yeah, that was our favorite.
Yeah.
Light it up, baby.
Yeah. The party's over. Light it up, baby. Ass is going crazy.
I don't think that's the words, but yeah. The music whips ass.
Yeah.
The manga is originally, let me see here.
The ending song is called Mephisto, and I highly recommend you check that
really
song
good.
out. Put it on your Spotify playlist.
All the music's good,
because it is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I also want to point out that the manga is actually written by Aka Akasaka, who has done a number of different mangas and whatnot, some of which have been adapted, including one of my all-time favorites, same person that wrote Kaguya-sama, Love is War. So that's a show that has like really great continuity. It's a much sillier show and a much shorter form show usually, since everything jumps around so much. This is a much longer form kind of thing where it's like one continuous story rather than all these little snapshots. But hey, motherfucker can write. So here you go, baby. It's good stuff. I'm really enjoying this show. It's great.
Yeah. Now let's talk about a few of our favorite parts or some things that we'd like to address here. If there's anything you'd like to talk about. The first thing I would like to talk about is Paimon or whatever, the chicken dude.
Yeah.
The dude with the chicken head.
The chicken dude.
The bodybuilder for children or whatever.
He's a bodybuilder, and he wears a chicken head.
He's a YouTuber.
He's a YouTuber.
Oh, they also, they do not obscure anything.
No, they just did. It's like,
YouTube,
we're on Twitter,
we're on
TikTok. YouTube,
yeah.
They just say all the stuff.
Yeah. So this chicken dude I almost pissed my pants. I was laughing so hard at that shit.
Yeah, that was like it was out of fucking nowhere is the thing, and I was fully not expecting. There's just a large buff man with a chicken head on.
It's like a little bit chicken
a little
head.
onesie.
Yeah.
He's got like a little
it's
like
a
Speedo.
Yeah.
And
she's Kana is actually talking. She's like, how can we possibly learn anything? It's so hard to make it on YouTube, yada yada. And he goes, essentially, he's like, I make $1 million a month, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, dude, it's not like she's like, I apologize. Teach me your ways immediately.
I make $1 million.
And I know what you're thinking, Fairview listeners. How in the fuck we got a show that's so dark, it's so serious, but it's time to throw you a fucking goofy ass bodybuilding chicken man? I don't know what to tell you, baby. It works. Like they just do the stuff.
Yeah, he's Strawberry Productions, which is the agency's biggest talent.
Yeah. And dare I say, rightly so. Boy's got sick abs.
And the video they make, it is wonderful.
Wish we could get those kind of viewers.
Yeah.
But thank you for listening.
Yeah, leave us some questions.
Yeah, we love
if you want to talk about this, leave us some questions. I know it's me and Brandon. We're talking about. We've been getting a good amount of viewers, especially in the audio realm. I'm talking like some of our episodes have 1,000+ plays, which in the grand scheme of things, for some people is not a lot, but for us it's pretty good. I feel really great about it. So if like 7 you motherfuckers would just write us some questions.
Calm down. It'd be cool if you want to talk to us. But show whips ass.
Yep. Also, I'd like to address. Oh, did you have something?
I do want to point out. So I mentioned it briefly. So there's a running joke where Ruby keeps referring to Kana as the girl who's the best at licking baking soda.
Yep.
Which is real goofy. It's like a whole thing. But every time she says it, they cut to a clip of her in some way licking baking soda, and the memes that have come off of the one with her fucking just squirreling across the floor real quick, leaving lines where she's licked up baking soda is fucking hilarious. It's absurd. There's a great one where it's just her and it's like a race cars. Have you seen this? It's great. I'll have to find it for you. it's a bunch of race cars. It's like a real thing, and they're like, oh, it's coming down the stretch, etc., etc. And then like it's just her superimposed on it, zooming past him on her hands, and he's going. It's the fucking funniest shit I've ever seen. The show's really good.
Yeah. Another thing that I would like to address is like a plot hole that, you know, it doesn't really matter, but I think about it all the time.
Okay, here we go.
Is that they did the thing where they were deity babies or whatever to the lady. Like, we ever going to talk about that again? Is she ever going to mention that, like, oh, this happened to me?
Nah, you just kind of assume that it was
like
it
you're
was
my
just
children,
letting you know.
I raised you, you know, like, well, you know, and she's like trying to help them be successful, but they're supposed to be gods. They told you they're
just
gods.
in there.
Yeah.
The gods are just in there. That's not them. They're just in there, and they'll come out if they need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I always was like, I wonder if that will ever get addressed again, even in like a tongue-in-cheek way. I would like just a small bit of, you know, addressing of it, but they don't have to.
They just drop like one little line in there
one
later
little,
on.
one
where
little
she just
joke,
turns around,
man.
she's like, what the fuck?
One little quip.
Maybe.
You kids were, you know, talking as babies.
That's crazy, Ma.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a weird thing, like she never talks to them like they're not normal.
Yeah.
Which is weird because she knows very well that they are not normal.
As far as as far as she has been told, it's pretty silly.
Especially considering she was having conversations with them while they were in their diapers, doo-dooing themselves. You know.
Yes, that is true. That did happen.
Yep.
And
it's just never mentioned.
You know, it's fine.
Yeah. It's not like I said. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like a breaking issue. It's nothing that bothers me on a level that isn't beyond a joke. You know, that's why I just kind of like, you know, like I wish you guys would just throw a little quip in there about it, just a little something.
That's the thing. It's like you know, baby geniuses rule. The babies are like super brilliant, and then they get older and they kind of lose all that.
It does appear like we're going to have some more time to cover that, maybe, because I don't think this is going to be a one and done season.
No, probably.
There's just no fucking
it's way
way,
too huge.
dude.
But yeah, we will see how it all goes. You know how these things often go is that like, hey, they either expected this to blow up and they already ready for season 2, or they didn't expect it to blow up and it blows up, and then we got to wait a year or two for season 2. But you know, we'll see how it goes. I don't know if this is a full on like, you know, this is the one that's going to make me read the manga for it, but fucking maybe.
I do have the first issue, and it is a very thick book, so I assume that it's probably the whole first
movie. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go, folks. I think we about did it. Roger, do you want to go into anything else this episode, or are we shutting it down?
We can do like a small what you've been watching, ramble.
That's it for Oshi no Ko. We will definitely be revisiting this one in future episodes. You know, we do our little what have you been watchings and stuff. Maybe this will be one that gets a full review later. I don't know. It's been a while since we did a full review, but maybe we'll get one for this. We'll find out. But point is, we're both really into it right now. It's a fucking great show. Check it the hell out. And Roger, there's a question that burns within my very soul, and I must know the answer to. What else have you been watching?
Well, dude, I only watch. Okay, actually, we watched. We still have one more episode of MHA, but we watched the Uraka episode.
Ooh, yeah,
or whatever. Which
she
was
got her megaphone.
Yeah, where she got the megaphone, which was a really good ass episode.
Oh yeah, decent stuff.
Yeah, but Kat's dragging her legs on the last episode. She's like, well, I want it to be the last episode.
Yeah, it is the last.
Yeah, that's how she is with every one of them.
I'm in denial. Like every now and then, I just click on it to make sure it's not saying what watch next, but let me make sure. Oh, it's not another one today.
I need to catch up on Demon Slayer and Dr. Stone. I haven't yet.
Same.
But I did catch up.
I
did catch up on Vinland Saga, sir.
So I about had a conniption when Roger told me he wasn't caught up 2 weeks ago when we talked, because there is a just brutal scene that happens that he has now watched. Hey, Roger, how do you feel about that?
That was fucking gnarly, dude. Oh my god. So there is a character in Vinland Saga that we spoke earlier in the podcast.
So,
sometime, not this podcast, but a few episodes ago.
Before Roger says this, let me point out.
I'm gonna try not to spoil anything, but I want to address this character.
There is definitely a character. What's their name? Do you want to say?
Yeah, it's Kettle.
Okay. Who is a person who owns a farm and also owns
Slaves.
Okay, now we previously said, obviously slavery bad.
Yeah,
There's no but to that.
Yeah, it's a work of its time.
Yes, this is an older, this is a period piece. It's back in the day. It's like, people were buying and selling people. If the Vikings attack your village, they take all your meat, they take all your chickens, they take all your women and your men, and they sell them off, baby.
Yep.
So that is the thing that happened.
Yep.
And that's the thing that happens in the show. And we
it
had said previously that, Kettle, obviously he's a slave owner.
Yeah.
But, the way that he kind of does this stuff.
Let me put it like this, Brandon.
The way he's working.
It had us saying, maybe he's one of the good ones.
I don't know if I would say, I never feel great about anybody owning people, obviously.
Yeah.
But we had, we kind of were like, this guy, he's letting them work off the debt and blah, blah, blah. So maybe, maybe things will be okay.
Whatever
with
money
this
he
guy.
paid for them, you do that work, and in time, once you recoup that cost, then you're free to go.
Exactly. So obviously, hey, we're not excusing anything.
Yeah.
We're not saying anything was cool or is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, this other episode happens, and he's just like, let me pull off this mask real quick and show you how bad I am.
Yeah. Well,
holy shit.
So and of course, with anything with Vinland Saga, there's several layers to this.
There's
shit.
levels to everything,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. So, would this have ever happened given the circumstance that Kettle had gone through?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe Kettle was genuinely, a kinder soul.
Maybe
he
found his limit.
Had a mental break. Maybe he snapped and went over the ledge.
I ain't making no excuse for this man.
Which he certainly did. And
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's the thing is like whenever somebody snaps and they go over the ledge, you still don't make excuses for them. They still did what they did.
That thing happened.
But that's what Vinland Saga is good at. Is they're good at wrapping it up into a level of gray and ambiguity that maybe there is like almost like a medical reason as to why this man went so far when he never would. It's like that the scene in the Killing Joke from the Joker, whatever his origin story.
Sure.
With the one bad day.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And this guy goes full. He gets full fucking Joker pilled, man, and he whips the shit out of a character.
Yeah, it's not great to watch.
Nope, it's hard to watch.
It's really difficult. So, I had been trying to get my girlfriend to watch this show, watch the first season and then watch the second season and whatnot. And we were sitting there and I was like, hey, I'm just going to catch up on some anime while you're fucking around on your phone or whatever. She's like, yeah, fine. And that's the one episode she's seen. How the fuck do I explain anything else in this show when she just saw that?
I can see her face like,
yeah.
It's like, Brandon,
Love you, baby.
You watching the show about the slaves now?
No. I mean, look.
You said he was one of the good ones.
I didn't say that. I never said that. Vinland Saga is a very good show.
Oh,
it's just,
God, it's so
out
good.
of context, there's no way. There's just no way.
And
Fuck. Even with context, it's like, hey man, you just watching a person get the shit kicked out of them for a minute.
It's brutal. It's fucking awful. There's no way to there's nothing around how awful it is. Especially some of the things that comes in the statements that this person makes.
Yeah, and then
it's fucking awful.
Whew, and then after that, the show oh boy, it just goes.
But there's so many other good characters even in that scene, It's like you got the moment with Snake.
Oh yeah.
And like there are so many characters that you fight against the characters that you love, and they could potentially fight with the characters that you love, and there are characters that are coming to invade and might disrupt the lives of some people that you care. It's just so
getting crazy, yo.
But the way that you attach yourself and you like these fucking characters. Once again, I'll follow back to Askeladd, who I think might be the greatest villain in anime history.
Mm-hmm.
Because is he really a villain?
Yeah.
It's that blur, it's that gray dude that this show does so fucking well.
It really does.
God, it's so good, dude. It's so good. I can't imagine.
I'm still sitting here like, Askeladd, a giant spoiler for Vinland Saga, obviously. Skip ahead. Askeladd's dead at the end of the first season. every now and then, like, you know, Thorfinn like has a memory of him or a vision of him,
or a little
like
flashback,
ghost or something. And I'm like,
yeah,
my boy's back.
yeah. He's such a good character. Like
he's a great character, very well written.
he's the ultimate, you know, character in it just design as to far what a good or bad guy can be,
man.
What a hero or
good
villain
show.
could be, and it's almost like, you know, they write him in a way, and he has his story, but you can see, you know, the story going completely different. You know, given that's just what they do so well. I don't know how they wrote this shit so good. But God, I can't wait for more.
Fucking shout out, dude.
And
Shout
I
out to
mean,
the writer.
once again, this season is not nearly as action packed as the last season.
Oh, we're getting some
But
of it now.
we are getting stuff now.
Yeah,
I
the
still, as a
first-
whole, I would probably still say this one doesn't have as much action. But
think-
where it lacks action, good God, that plot is so fucking thick.
Yeah, I was actually just talking with a friend at work about this. My good buddy Tyler, who finally started watching Vinland Saga season 1, and I was telling him how, like, you know, there's a moment in there which might be my favorite episode of season 1, where like we've seen all this actiony stuff and all these battles and whatnot. It's really great, really badass, really good character development all during it. But then there's an episode that's just about Canute. Like, there's a battle going on, and Canute is just like standing there realizing like who they are and what they believe and how they're gonna continue after this. And it's basically just a long ass soliloquy, a moment of Canute just like standing in this field realizing like all the things they've been told about royalty and religion and the kingdom and everything, and just resolving and figuring out who they are. And this season has been very much the inverse of that whole first season, where it's mostly a ton of moments like that, and now we're getting the action here toward the end.
And boy,
which
is it fucking violent.
Yeah, which is not to say there's not action, baby. It gets
People
getting decapitation.
getting fucking cut up.
Yeah, it's wild, dog. I love Vinland Saga. It's a good show.
Yeah, it's you know, like I'll be hard pressed, you know, of some of the stuff we've watched since we started the podcast. I'd be hard pressed, you know, to not put, you know, if I had to ever put a top 5 together, to not have Vinland Saga on there.
Vinland and Mob are probably
Mob,
up there.
yeah, those two, like, I mean, they're fucking wonderful.
Really good shows.
But yeah, and both of them do the same thing so well, of, you know, just great storytelling.
Yeah, dog.
It's what we fucking come to this shit for, until, you know, we want that good smut. But
No, that's just you.
you know, you mix the smut with great storytelling, you got a domestic girlfriend,
Yeah, I'm not giving you that.
the
I'm still
number
not
one
gonna give you
toppest
that.
anime of
Nope.
all time.
Nope, not doing it. Go on.
Brandon liked it. Yeah. After that, I mean,
right.
I didn't watch any more anime. I watched a couple of movies. I watched Bullet Train. I won't talk very much about it.
Ooh,
Very
I like
long.
Bullet Train. It's
Yeah,
good,
but
good flick.
You know, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a tad too long, though.
Maybe. That's
Yeah.
the thing, though. It's like very fast paced for
Yeah.
how long it is.
Yeah.
I really didn't feel the length until it got toward the end, and I was like, baby, we there's
Yeah.
more stuff, but it's good.
Yeah. And then we watched Cocaine Bear. That movie is not
I'm
very
not gonna
good.
watch that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it. Haley keeps trying to get me to watch it
It's
we
not
click
good.
we
Haley,
click over
it's not
to
good.
it. We click over to it on Peacock. She's like, Cocaine Bear, and I'm like, no.
I thought there was such a low chance of me not enjoying that movie. And
Turns out.
yeah, it turns out
We
there's not
found
you can't, you know, there's not enough Cocaine Bear.
It's
Like-
mostly about the cocaine guy, and I
Yeah.
don't care about the cocaine guy.
And some people get mauled in there, but you know, the maulings aren't. You go to that movie for something specific, a gigantic, goofy ass gore fest.
yeah, didn't
And
happen.
it did happen, but the bursts of gore were just like that.
Okay.
And then the two characters that you really like, there are these two kids in there. In my opinion, I think the movie would be better if they focused just on the two children trying to survive or whatever. These
Okay.
goofy ass little kids
Make it
that-
more of a survival horror
that,
kind
that
of
did cocaine by taking a big knife of it and putting it in their mouth.
Jesus Christ.
It was fucking hilarious.
That's ridiculous.
Like the little boy has this very southern drawl too. He's like, I don't want to tell anybody we did the drugs.
Fuck is this?
but they get split up or whatever, and then there's a mother, and there's a whole side story of a
right.
a moping brother and his father, and it's just not good. Like, the pacing is not good.
Okay. You heard it here. Oshinoko is great, and Cocaine Bear is big disappointment.
Yeah. Bullet Train, okay.
I like Bullet Train.
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty
Pretty
cool
good.
soundtrack too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Bad Bunny's
definitely.
in there.
Yeah.
You saw him on the
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
man. Yeah, man. Bad Bunny, man. He was the wolf.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's a good flick. Anything else?
I think that I do have one question before I ask you another question.
Oh, what's that?
Do you know if Review Your Life ever listened to my answer to the Tony Hawk thing?
He did, and I asked him about it, and he was like, "Hey, man," he was a little bummed out that I went so hard on him after being proved right. But I was like, "Hey, man, you knew what it was." So, but yes, he did listen to that, and he took it. You know, he really internalized it, and I think that's for the better.
Sometimes you just gotta reflect, you know.
It's okay to be wrong, man. You just don't.
There is nobody that has been more wrong than me. Okay.
Yeah,
I've been wrong.
Don't I know it?
So many fucking times.
No kidding.
And yeah, it's just, you know, like it's almost a running joke now. Sometimes, you know, like I have to point out my like did you really have to correct me on that one? That
This
wasn't
is-
hurting nobody.
This is what Trey says
Yeah.
all the time, because he will just say shit, like dumb shit.
Like I got a word wrong or something like that. Like, did you really have to go that hard on me?
all right, motherfucker, you
Go
were
in on me.
getting me in the text earlier because I said sick instead of six.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, all right. But Trey will literally tell me that, like, he will say some shit and I'll be like, you know that's not right. And he's like, yeah, it's right, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, totally. And I'll be like, I'll just pull out my phone. He's like, can't you let me have this, dude? And I was like, no, I have to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm trying to better you, Trey. I'm trying to better you is
Yeah.
what I tell him. He knows I really just want to gloat. Love you, buddy. But yeah, it'd be like that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I was just curious how that resolved.
Yeah,
I'm sorry if I picked the scab there.
no, he's good. Kid can't be good. Look at him. He's great.
It's great. He's
Love
great.
that guy.
You guys are all hanging out with all my Yugi nerds that defected from me to you.
That is true. A bunch of people who work at my job now were used to work with Roger.
Yeah.
Or at least hang out there a lot.
My fucking Yugi nerds, man. Now I don't have anybody buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards anymore. I have to do it myself again.
Oh, dang.
I
anyway.
lost my main 2 Yugi nerds over there.
Giant nerd ass. Anyway, let's see.
Brandon, what have you been watching? Anything you want to talk about?
Mostly the same stuff. Other than Oshi no Ko, I don't think there's any. So I still haven't caught up on Dr. Stone. I am all the way caught up on MHA and Demon Slayer. I believe there might be a new episode of Demon Slayer that just dropped that I haven't watched yet. But man, the season's pretty wild, and it keeps getting wilder. Still on Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. Yeah. So I told you before there was a heel turn in that last episode. Technically you could call it a double turn. You could call it that. You could call it a double turn. It's a heel and face turn for two different characters, but really the face turn kind of happened in episode prior, but whatever. Show's great. Check out Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury if you haven't.
Yep. Oh, we do have a question too that we've been neglecting.
Oh,
by
fun.
the
We'll
way.
get to that in a moment. What else? My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. Still cute. Skipping Loafer. I think still my favorite thing this season. It's just really fucking cute. Yeah, I really enjoy that show. Villain Saga we talked about. Yuri Is My Job and Birdie Wing. I'm mostly caught up on, I think, two new episodes. And a new episode of each of those just dropped. Man, Birdie Wing's fucking absurd, and I'm still loving it. The show's just stupid, and I enjoy it. And finally, Ranking of Kings, which I put off for a while because I've been watching it with Haley. It's still super cute. It's Ranking of Kings. You know what it is. Have you caught up on any more Ranking of Kings?
No, we haven't watched it more. We'll watch more soon.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'm trying to get some in the chamber. You know.
They should be up to those Oaken episodes in the dub by now, I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah, probably. I think those were like 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 somewhere there. But yeah, a lot of good shows this season. I'm still catching up on a lot of them. There's several that I did like but dropped for various reasons from earlier this season. But if I didn't mention your favorite, whoopsie, let me know in the friggin' comments or send us a message about
kick
it.
him right in the virtual nuts.
Right in the. You know what he did? He kicked him in the penis. Do you remember that shit?
I don't remember, no, but you sound like a customer that I have.
Oh, there was a commercial.
Like literally, you just did his voice perfectly.
There was a commercial for some shit. I'll
And
pull
he
it
always
up in a
calls me
second.
Richard.
Wow.
I never correct him either.
there's a commercial for like some bullshit, and it was just a little kid talking about watching a movie with his mom, and I think it was like a commercial for a hospital or something. And he says that, and it's very funny. Here we go. I found it very quickly. Thank you, YouTube. Let's hope it doesn't play an ad when I click this.
What you got? You got an ad?
I'm waiting for it to load. Oh no, Roger's Wi-Fi is moving so slow.
Are we gonna get copyright strike? What's gonna happen here?
I don't know why your Wi-Fi hates me so much.
I don't know, dude.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Wait for it. Fucking great. Just a great clip.
I'm probably pretty injured too.
He kicked him in the penis.
I would not like getting kicked in the penis.
All right, that was my last little meme corner. We have a question apparently.
Yeah. Good buddy Josh asked a question a while back, April 25th.
I don't remember this. Oh no.
Let's see if you acknowledge. You did acknowledge.
Okay, and I forgot to do it because that was probably when we took that two extra weeks off.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh. We're doing it now. Yeah. Love you, buddy.
I knew I was just trying to. I just had to bring it into my brain.
Okay.
He asked, can an Ichi show ever be a masterpiece? What would it need to do to be so? Domestic girlfriend not allowed, Roger.
Nice try.
Laughy face.
Yeah. No, you were going to bring that up. You said there is a masterpiece.
There truly is a masterpiece, but obviously it's taken out for a reason.
I'm not big on the Ichi stuff. We all know this. We've talked about it several times. I've talked about it at least several times. I don't hate Domestic Girlfriend. It's just kind of become a meme at this point that I don't like it.
Yeah, but
you love it so hard.
Yeah, well,
I definitely don't like it as much as you do.
It's a meme now because I constantly bring it up around you because it's fun to me.
It is fun to you. And also you own the special edition, which I think is just to spite me. No.
Let's do Domestic Girlfriend special edition price check.
It's very high.
Yeah, let's see where we're at right now. Let's see. I'm going on eBay.
Don't. You're gonna someone's gonna hear this and break in, and grab that shit.
Girlfriend.
That's how we died before on that Halloween episode.
Limited edition.
Here we go.
Let's see here. Sold listings. Always, if you're ever eBay and you want to know the value of something,
take the sold listing.
Yeah, don't look what people are saying. Go to the sold listing. See what it sold for. Let's see. $225.
It's pretty good.
Yep. It's at $225 right now, which it was just somebody just outright bought it that. I think they could have got more. Here's one. A best offer was accepted off of $400 plus 20 shipping.
Jesus.
So they got somewhere in there for that, somewhere in that range. But yeah, it's no fucking joke, dude. I should have grabbed them. I should have got you one for Christmas, man. I really regret not doing that.
I almost bought one for you for Christmas as a joke, but then you ended up getting it anyway, so yeah, it worked out.
I have fucking ragrats for not getting you one, dude.
Wow. So the only special edition I own is Bloomin' to You because I really like that show. And I'm not seeing the sold ones, but people are trying to sell it for about $80.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much. And also, yours came with some
spicy pictures.
Mine came with a recipe for cheesecake. So who really wins in that situation? Me. But back to the question. Josh, I'm not big on the Ichi stuff. Our good buddy Josh, I'm not big on it. I feel like, honestly, the stuff I do find myself more attracted to is really decent character development.
Yeah.
And, a compelling story and whatnot. I suppose that a show that was so focused on those, but also had some titties and jiggles, might do it for me. It's not that I don't watch any Ichi stuff.
Yeah.
I think the only series that's going on that so I am following in the new season. I don't know when it's coming. It might be this year, it might be next year. I think it might be this year. There's supposed to be a new season or a movie of the quintessential quintuplets, which is a straight up harem anime.
Yeah, that
honestly might not even be that good, but I'm watching it mostly because I watched the first season. I was like, well, let's see what's going on in the second season. So there you go. That show's decent.
Yeah.
We're talking about
masterpiece here.
What makes a masterpiece?
Well, I think so. To give a little bit of what I have going on through my brain right now, there are two ways to look at it. You can look at it the first way, the timeless classic, the thing that people attach themselves to because it was this anime was starting to really kind of get some legs here or whatever. It's characters that we saw. I would go to something like Tenchi Muyo.
Sure, something that's of the moment.
The original OVA for Tenchi Muyo, maybe Tenchi in Tokyo or Tenchi Universe. Those shows with those characters that were very likable that were on TV or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, in the grand scheme of things, was it a masterpiece? Maybe not. But on a level of classic, it's hard not to regard it as the most iconic harem anime or whatever.
Probably
because how many people that don't watch anime could flash back to that time in their life, like Tenchi Muyo. I fucking remember that shit. I used to watch it all the time on Toonami. Some people didn't make it past Toonami. So something like Tenchi Muyo with memorable characters, fun action, and just that great twist of romantic comedy they have in there mixed in with it was a harem before you knew what the word harem was. Mm-hmm. Something like that, maybe I could see people saying is a class or is a masterpiece. Tenchi Muyo, don't get me wrong, is very good. I think the original 3 seasons are very good. I would watch them again. I like all those characters. I still hold them near and dear in my heart. The next would be story. It really has to have good story, and it needs to maintain a certain level of fun to it because you're gonna have these jiggling titties or whatever. And let's face it, they're probably going to be in high school or something like that.
Yeah, typically.
So I would point to something like High School DxD, which I've seen the first 3 seasons to, and I could see somebody calling that, a masterpiece, at least among Ichi anime.
Okay.
Maybe some people might say it was a masterpiece, as animes. It really sucks that Josh took the domestic girlfriend away from me.
Yeah.
But
so.
So what High School DxD does really well. I mean, they give you the gymnastics, the mental gymnastics of, well, actually we are 200-year-old demons.
It's one of those.
Yeah, they're like seniors in high school, so they're like at the 18 range or something. I don't know what the main character's age actually is because but he's
there.
He's the great red dragon, man. He's the booby dragon.
Okay.
He sees boobies, he gets strong.
Mm-hmm.
And all these characters really do love him, but the show has great action scenes. Excellent fucking shonen action scenes. And the comedy in it, fucking top notch if you're immature.
Okay.
It is fucking hilarious. That show, I wouldn't have stuck with that show for 3 seasons if it was not hilarious. The anime boobies alone, you see all their boobies very quick. So, like once you've seen the anime boobies, you've seen the anime boobies. But the show manages to stick you with how fun the action is, how good actually some of the villains are, and how fucking ridiculous it is. So, you combine all that and you put it with a good story, which High School DxD does have. That could turn something into a masterpiece.
Okay.
In my opinion.
So here's what I've got. Is based on what you've said, I'm gonna try to so I'm gonna say memorable characters, obviously. Iconic of the moment kind of thing. The kind of thing that like I still see an occasional somebody talking about it, a meme from it, stuff like that. Stuff that's memorable.
Yep.
It's gotta be funny. Got to be a little bit sexy if it's an easy thing. I'm not into these, but I can think of one show that does all those already, and also had the good fucking graces to not stick around for so long that I got tired of it.
Sure.
Golden Boy.
Ah, yes. I could very well see in Golden Boy.
So is that of what I've seen, it's got to be like the most classic series of the type. Up there with Tenchi, obviously.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I could bring GTO too. Love GTO.
Yeah, I know you love GTO.
And what does that have? Once again, it's got a great fucking story.
Yeah.
And a cast of a good hero, good villains, likable characters all the way around. Some characters are not so likable, but they have good redemption arcs or whatever.
Okay.
And the story itself focuses more, Onizuka is a pervert.
Yeah.
But he has morals. He has a sense to him that, kind of keeps him. He's always in hot water, but ever crossing, a bridge too far in the eyes of the viewer, he never really does.
Yeah. You gotta get right to the edge.
Yeah. But some of those, like the vacation arc, the vacation arc in GTO, I would say is a masterpiece. You could watch that section of episodes and leave with it very happy, because you have his name is slipping my mind right now. I should know them, but the kid that's bullied throughout the whole show, and Anko, the girl that bullies him the most, actually they kind of spin around into where she starts protecting him, and then they start falling for each other because he's now in turn kind of helping her too. She's,
right.
Like they have a true bonding moment in that show, and it's hard to find a show that does something, like that well and it not be a cliche. It felt so original.
Okay.
And I mean that is if I were to watch GTO and I was told, oh, you can only watch 6 episodes, I'm going straight to the vacation.
Okay.
Because it is the best part of the whole fucking show.
That's cool.
So yeah, you might tackle something like that in there.
Yeah. I think so. I think we answer that as best we could. So
yeah,
I feel like if we're saying like what makes it a classic, it's got to be like,
well, not what makes it a classic.
Well, like
what makes it a
what's
masterpiece.
Right, a masterpiece. Sorry, what makes a masterpiece to me? Like, I feel like it's all those things. If we're putting them all together, we got like classic characters. We got good story, great moments. Because we're talking specifically about Ichi, it's got to have like a little bit sexy, a little bit funny, right?
Yeah, man. It's got to have good fan service, but humor to go along with it, so it doesn't creep you out.
Okay. Again, I can't stress enough how not into these fucking series I am. So this is not a question for me.
I think that some people would never find an Ichi as a classic.
No, and I might be one of them. I definitely would say like the closest I would get. Closest I would get to calling any of them a masterpiece would probably be Golden Boy, and that's mostly just because it's only 6 episodes long, and I can just bust on through it. Like my one of, probably not my number one, but one of my favorite animes ever. Like what I would consider FLCL a masterpiece.
Oh, sure.
In terms of like everything it does so well.
Well, now it's Fooly Cooly and Ichi.
It's very close.
Yeah, it's got.
But
right?
That's the thing.
It's
the
a little
original
more
series
avant-garde, though.
the original series only 6 episodes. So is Golden Boy.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy for me to draw that comparison.
Yeah. So Brandon wants a short burst.
I want a short. I'm what you call a 2-pump chump.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to.
You don't have to
get
pump
in,
him
get
too
out.
much. Yeah.
He
wants the anime titties to remain special.
It's purely, it's all just purely facile for me. I'm trying to get it done, to be done with it. I'm not really drawing pleasure from this. I just need to be sleepy.
Yeah.
This is the worst conversation we've ever had.
So
this is the worst conversation we've ever had. That's terrible. Shut up, dude. All right. I think we're done. Thank you for the question, our good buddy Josh.
Yeah. I know that was kind of a vague answer, but really, it needs to, you need to accept that at some level, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
Not everybody is going to find it as a fucking masterpiece. It's just simply, I don't know that can happen.
Yeah.
But in order for people like me or Brandon, somebody that we're going to watch stuff or whatever, and we might, call something a masterpiece ourselves. Like, obviously, I can't say Domestic Girlfriend, but I really like Domestic Girlfriend, and I really do hold it highly. Jokes aside, I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
The twists and turns and the good story it had. It didn't have a lot of comedy, but it was so over the top that it was unironically, or maybe ironically funny,
moments
funny.
of it. It did have some jokes.
Yeah, it did.
The one that always jumps to my mind is when homegirl is like sick and they're like, "Hey, can you get help homegirl Rui with her?" Is it Rui?
Yeah, it's Rui. He gives her the enemy
with her medicine, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll give her medicine." And then he opens the thing and it's an enema, and he's like, "What?"
Yep.
Like, that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
If you haven't
But they
seen
play
Domestic
that off
Girlfriend,
as a
check it out, I
steamy
guess.
fucking scene, dude. It is an absolute fucking glorious shit show, but the story is, it's just well done. It's simply for what it is, it's so well done.
Sure.
I can see a lot of people just attaching themselves to it because it's so fucking wild.
Yeah, it is goofy as hell. That
Yeah.
first episode, like I said,
It's
man,
memorable.
that first left turn into Ha-Haville really fucking got my ass. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's decent.
Yeah.
All right,
I
there
mean,
you
would
go.
I put it on my top 5 with Vanland Saga and Mob Psycho? You bet your sweet ass I would.
I don't know about all that. But
But top
here we
5
are.
is definitely Masterpiece Zone, right?
Man, if you go by category, if you're gonna go top 5, what would be considered an Ichi series? If I had to pick one, yeah, I'd probably put it up there, just because there's at least some good character development in there.
Yeah, but of
As
all time,
goofy it is,
he would have it in there.
Of all
He just
time,
would-
among
he just would- he would-
everything.
yeah, he
No.
would just never tell
No,
anybody.
No.
Just let me be honest with you, good buddies. He's gonna say no. And the more he says the more he turns into John over there.
How dare you?
Yeah, more than he knews at you, the more that actually it is higher in his top 5.
This is not true.
He's
and you
one
are-
new from it being number one.
I can't have you over
The
here.
tippity top of the mountain.
You got to stop this. Thank you so much for listening, good buddies. If you want to ask us any questions like our good buddy Josh did, or,
Yes, please.
or you have any other comments, you want to tell us what you thought of Oshi no Ko, or any stuff like that, there's a number of ways to do that. If you're checking this out,
What do you want to talk about next time?
oh, we should hammer that out right now.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just keep it to be announced, and we'll talk about it after the show.
We'll figure it out.
You
after
guys, you good. Just know that coming up are, what are we still watching is, from the season. That's going to happen. Even though I do want that to be towards the end of the season because I really liked it there
We're
last
getting
time.
there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah. I think we still got a good,
Like the wrap. It'll be the wrap. Like what are we making it on?
So it's possible. I think it's possible, given that me and Brandon are available, that we could do, a back-to-back week-to-week episode or whatever. And maybe in the future that might become more possible altogether.
We'll
Or
see what
at
happens.
least 3 a month. Maybe we take one off. We might be able to rework the schedule a little bit. We'll see how that goes. That's still, I'm still processing a lot of things right now.
You got it. So yes, if you want to tell us what's up, there's a number of ways to do that. The best one is if you jump in the old Discord. We're in there. It's in the description. Check it out, the Good Buddies Discord. We also do have tons of other social media we may or may not use. And of course, wherever you're listening to this, be this on your podcatcher of choice, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you can leave a comment, 5-star review, really help us out, letting everybody know what's up. And also, you may be checking us out on the YouTube or on YouTube Music, since they have podcasts now, which is really just a video, but whatever. Anywhere you got us.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to deal with because you just have
It's
to
just
put
a
up the
fucking
video
playlist. Yeah.
and it puts in a play. It's not.
I got really
a
excited
podcast.
about it too, and it just, yeah.
It's different. Whatever,
I started trying to rework the videos.
Get on your shit, YouTube. Anyway, point is, there's a number of places you can find us. Anywhere you see the Good Buddies, that's us. Unless it's those 2 juggalos on Spotify, that is not us. But otherwise, it's fine. Hey, if you're down with the clown, I ain't got no problems.
Mm-hmm.
Roger doesn't like Fago, but
I don't know. I don't like Insane Clown Posse, but you know what? I've softened my stance on juggalos and juggalettes.
I got respect for them.
You do you. You know what?
They had the whole thing where like one of the guys was like, hey, I said a lot of stuff when before on the tracks and whatnot, stuff that was not appropriate, homophobic, this and that. And then he's like, I thought, I don't want my fans or my kids listening to this stuff and thinking I think that way, so blah blah. And he's like apologized for it. I was like, hey, respect for that guy. That's really good.
Yeah. I was talking about the fans as large, but that is actually cool too.
Yeah, you're not down with the clown?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan, but they
I
seem
do
cool.
not like their music. No.
Well, you don't listen to anything that's, overproduced except for Coheed and Cambria.
I just don't think that's true. Because, I definitely listen. I love Ghost.
Okay, sure.
And that shit is produced to the moon.
Yeah,
They may be the most produced band that I've ever listened to in my life.
maybe. They're going to be in, I think, Dallas or Houston in September?
Dude, they play arena shows. I ain't got that in me
And
anymore.
no, it's just too big.
I just don't
Too loud,
have it.
too big.
I would love to see them, but,
Not none of those.
yeah, it's just arena shows are too much.
But are you on the square?
Yeah, I'm on the level.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Leave us a comment wherever you are. Thank you again. We love you guys. Shout out to our musicians. Thank you, Mary Sea Monsters, aka the Mary Janes, for the opening theme, which is called Paper Doll. They are on Spotify and all the other music stuff, but that track is only on maryseamonsters.bandcamp.com. That band doesn't exist anymore, but you can still get them tracks. It's good stuff. And a shout out to our good buddy Haas for the closing theme, which is The Buddy's Good. You can find Haas at Thomas Tastes Better on Instagram and at Dungeon Witch on YouTube. Again, that's Thomas Tastes Better, all one on Instagram, and Dungeon Witch on
Prime
YouTube.
outro now.
That is going to be our prime outro. For the time being, we're still using a lot of music from our good buddy Papetti Theft, but it is not going to be the outro probably going forward anymore on the podcast.
I'm consolidating
it
just to the one outro.
Yeah, we're just kind of simplifying things, which is not to say, hey, let's not get the room real started. There's nothing wrong with our good buddy Papetti Theft.
It's how I'm removing the plugs one by one.
Slowly. This is how he shortens the thing. But no,
Petty Theft is moving down here, so maybe we can get more tracks for him in the future too.
Maybe.
Find ways to use it. I would love to get the interstitial back music that we use for our podcast.
Oh yeah.
We've been using the same stuff, the 8-bit themes and stuff for so long. And even then, sometimes some of those get flagged on YouTube, which fucking sucks.
Which is wild.
It's so annoying, dude.
This is why we can't stop talking.
Yeah.
Because then you'll hear it and then we get flagged. It's not good.
Yep. So, maybe we can get some, good
But yeah, we'll still give a shout out. I'll still give a brief shout out to our good buddy Papetti Theft, at Papetti Theft on Twitter and on SoundCloud. But, maybe we'll get a new track in here. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for listening. That'll about do it for us. Roger, do you have one to take us out on?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. What's something funny we said in this episode that normally we go back to? We talking about Brandon. One of the good ones.
No, don't do that. I guess I'll just go to the outro and we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for listening. From all of us here at the Good Buddies Anime Universe, I am your good buddy Brandon.
I am your good buddy Roger. A lot of good video games coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been playing that Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm playing that Zelda.
Both of us has.
Yeah.
I just got me the Master Sword.
Yeah, next week. Oh, I got me the Master Sword too.
Oh hell yeah.
Next week we got the Street Fighter 6.
Oh, new Street Fighter.
And it looks pretty good.
Probably not gonna play that.
Oh, it looks really good though.
I'm probably not gonna play it though.
I think they actually making a story mode too.
Oh, that's sexy.
Yeah, you get it. We'll play it online.
They got Jury in there. She's got her feet out.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's into that.
Oh yeah. They got the big muscle lady now too.
Oh yeah.
I know you like those muscle ladies.
I do like a muscle lady. Can't deny.
And then of course we got the Final Fantasy 16. Oh, I'm gonna play that.
You could turn into a big kaiju.
You can beat a kaiju. You can fight with a kaiju. The kaiju can be.
This is a long outro. Love you.